Greetings from the Johnson Sports Center here on the Northwest Nazarene University campus. I'm Mike Stetson, Sports Information Director, and thank you for joining us for another edition of the Crusaders Coaches Corner Show. It's been a busy day here on campus with the NNU women's soccer team hosting a couple of games, including a 2-0 victory for the Crusaders over San Francisco State, their first win of the year for the NNU women's soccer team. This week on the Coaches Show, we'll be joined by NNU volleyball coach Doug English. His team's back from Colorado, and here in just a couple of days we'll be leaving for the Pac West GNAC Crossover tournament. Thanks for joining us for the Coaches Show. Thank you for joining us on this week's Coaches Corner Show. We're joined by head women's volleyball coach Doug English. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Very welcome. Happy to do it.
Got to talk about what turned out to be an up and down road trip. Trip down to Colorado, a couple of top 25 matchups to start the tournament, and then beating Colorado Christian to wrap things up.
I mean, it's always nice to win the game before you travel home, so that makes like the end of the trip at least a little bit more joyful than other times. Friday we played some pretty good volleyball and some really good volleyball teams, and I really lost I think by 7 points throughout the day. So it's just little things that we're trying to get better at that we're going to take into this week as we move forward. But I think the positives were, we're really close to being a really good team, and that part makes it really exciting. And losing the two quality teams. And then physically and emotionally, we had a toll taken on us on Friday, and Mankato came out and played awesome on Saturday morning and beat us pretty good. So yeah, it was up and down, but I think learning from it is we're really close to being really good, which is nice.
Looking at just the stats and stuff, the first match against San Bernardino seemed like your typical battle between two top teams, goes 5 sets. But the defining point of the weekend seemed to be that match, number 8, Colorado School of Mines, the host school. You had them down 2 sets to none. You had 3 match points, and it slipped away.
As it slipped, first of all, we won 2 really close matches, or 2 close games to be up 2-0. So it could have easily been 1-1, and then they won 2 close games to easily get it back to 2-2. And then in the 5th, we had, a girl hit a ball off the tape and got an ace. So she serves that 1 inch lower, we win the match. We had, Kendra took a couple big swings, and they made a couple really good digs and things like that. So they were exactly perfect when they needed to be perfect and got a little luck, and we didn't get that. And it was heartbreaking. But like I said, it just shows us kind of how close we are to being as good as we want to be.
How much do you grow from this weekend, and how much do you take from it and progress, since obviously this is kind of a new team?
The bummer is we only have 2 days of practice this week till we have to travel and get on the road again. But I think anytime you play somebody besides yourself, it just allows you to see where you need to get better. And so we take from this weekend is, 1, I think we can cut down on some of our hitting errors that we made, and then it's just we can pass a little bit better and pass a little bit closer to the net. So those are the 2 things I think we're going to really try and get better on and focus on over the next 2 days in order to help us score some more points this weekend.
I think one thing that we didn't mention in the write-ups, and people, some of them who know the team may have heard, but Elena Rice, all-tournament team, had a great weekend. I understand an hour before the first match, she had an allergic reaction, and...
Yeah, she was... Well, they kind of didn't tell me all of what was going on, but it was between matches, between the first and second match. We were having Jimmy John's, and Jimmy John's, I guess, started putting peanut oil on the chips, and she's allergic to peanut oil, so they went and got some Benadryl, I guess, or whatever she needs from the store, and then she came out and played pretty well on Saturday night after it, so yeah. It's a great experience, but it's something that Elena's prepared, and she knows what has to happen and how she can get herself back to normal. So yeah.
Aside from that, let's talk about some of the players that had big weeks. I mean, we have to start with Haley. New setter comes in, and she had some phenomenal matches, it looks like.
Yeah, Haley did a great job. She ran our offense really well, and she was really good at the net with, some blocks and kills and things like that. So, I think I was really happy with how Haley played. If she can keep playing like that, she put our hitters in some really good spots to get some kills and score some points. Yeah, she started off really good for her first college weekend against some really good teams.
And then we talk about, we mentioned the first 2 touches, which means that your setter, or your libero's gone.
Right.
But you bring in Linnea Phillips, who 2 years ago, she was the libero. She's played 3 years, so it's not like you're throwing a rookie in there.
No.
You had to be pleased with her play.
Linnea played really well too. I think Linnea played how we expected her to play, which was really nice. And she passed well and played really good defense. I think she ended against Colorado Christian with 30-some digs, and so that was really nice to see. And that's where she really excels in, is kind of the defensive part of her game. And she made she just does a really good job as far as saving rallies for us and putting us in good spots to keep things going. So yeah.
You mentioned a couple days of practice and then you hit the road. Over at Central Washington, you've got BYU, Hawaii, Fresno State,
Fresno Pacific.
Fresno State, that'd be a good win for us. A bunch of the Pac West schools.
And Point Loma, don't forget Point Loma. That's a big match for us here at the Nazarene School.
This is a tournament where you guys made a lot of ground in the polls and made a push for nationals. BYU, Hawaii, number 11 in the nation. Despite a rough start, there's a lot of ground to be made up this weekend with a good weekend.
Yeah, I think, we played teams that we're competing for spots, which is one of the reasons why that San Bernardino game was a really tough loss too, because that's somebody who we're going to be in it with at the end for trying to get in the tournament. And then this weekend too, Point Loma had a great weekend, and Dixie State's going to be tough, and Fresno Pacific hasn't played yet, so we don't know what we're going to get. And then BYU Hawaii has been, they're nationally ranked, and Simon Fraser played them pretty tough this weekend. So there are 4 big matches for us, and we'll just, if we can get better, hopefully, we'll see what happens as we come out. But I think hopefully we'll have the opportunity to go 2-2, 3-1, 4-0, and if we're playing well and get right back on track and pick up some big victories this weekend.
I know when they were here in November, one of the things that the Pac West schools talked about was they focus so much on defense, and that's what helped them beat the GNAC schools in the tournament. Is that a major concern, or do you think you have the defense to match?
I think it has nothing. I honestly think if we played all those matches again on a different day, that the GNAC schools could have easily won all 4 of those matches. Not easily, but I think it could have been completely different results, and then they could have been talking about maybe how great our offense was, kind of thing. So I don't think that's a concern. We're just going to get better and do what we do, and part of what we do is good blocking and defense. And so I don't think that's really a big concern going into it. We're going to try and we'll have the opportunity to watch the teams and scout the teams and have a little bit better idea of what's going to happen than we had this past weekend for the first weekend. So I think all those things will help us out and hopefully put us in a spot to win some matches.
BYU Hawaii, I don't want to overlook them on Thursday, but the match people probably will be looking forward to is Friday night against Dixie State. A little bit of, maybe not revenge, but a chance to avenge last year's.
We're just trying to go day by day, whether it's BYU Hawaii is a big match, Dixie State. I think we played them 4 times since I've been here, and I think we're 2-2 against them, and so it's always a battle. Then I think we got Point Loma the next day, which is that's going to be a battle, and Fresno Pacific, who we don't know much about, but we're just trying to see what happens day by day, and one's not more necessarily important than the other. And I think, like I said, we're just trying to just get one victory at a time, because we learned this weekend how hard it is just to get one.
And then this is kind of a unique weekend. You go to Central, you play these 4 matches in 3 days. Will you come home before what turns out to be the conference opener just a couple days later?
Well, we play Monday, so we play Thursday, Friday, 2 on Saturday, then Sunday we're off, and then we play Central Washington on Monday. So we're staying up there. We're probably going to go to church with some of our kids from Yakima, with Linnea Phillips and Breezy Byrne there from up there, and then learn and figure out how to beat Central on Sunday, and then hopefully try and beat Central Monday, and then come back Monday night and get to school on Tuesday.
It's got to be. It's a little bit of a unique trip, but it's got to be nice too, because you kind of get to spend 3 days scouting your first GNAC foe.
Well, yes and no. I mean, our first 3 days are going to be focused on probably the Pac West teams, and then if we happen to see Central, like, we'll pay attention to it. And then Sunday we'll pay really close attention to what Central Washington's doing and trying to figure that out for Monday.
Talk a little bit about the season. I mean, the bulk of the GNAC's coming up, like we said, just after this weekend.
Yeah.
So how excited are you guys to get into that portion and defend the title?
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the defending the title isn't necessarily it's a focus, but we know we're going to defend the title if we can get better at what we can get better at. And so that just comes with each match that we play and each day of practice that we have. And so that's where our focus is, hopefully, with the girls and myself. It's daily just trying to get better and improve, and if we can do that, then we're going to put ourselves in a spot to hopefully have some swings to win the GNAC championship and have some matches that really matter.
I appreciate you joining us, Coach.
Very welcome.
Be sure to check the website, see when the live stats and live video from this weekend are, and of course, definitely Monday's match against Central will be live video and live stats, so be sure to watch that and cheer on your Crusaders as they look to make a big splash over in Ellensburg.
Yep. All right. Thanks, Mike, for having me.
Thank you. The Crusader women's soccer team hosted a pair of games this weekend with San Francisco State, shown here, visiting on Monday. The Crusader defense stymied the Gators, picking up a 2-0 victory. Kelsey Martin had both the goals for the Crusaders, while Danielle Ortiz made 11 saves in goal. On Friday, the Crusaders hosted Regis from Colorado. The game went to overtime before the Rangers, a 10-time national tournament qualifying team, picked up the victory. Lexi Fessenbeck and Laura Seymour each scored in the game for the Crusaders against the Rangers, shown here.